This is what I call the PL office. And this is probably the thing that you have seen the most if you've been watching on my YouTube videos for the last 3.5 years. It's basically the space where I record all of my talking head videos, where I edit all my videos, and where I just sit on a day-to-day basis whenever I'm talking on the phone or answering email and all that stuff. What I like about this space is that you have the windows that are letting in a lot of light. So whenever I'm sitting here at the desk, you definitely get that feeling of, oh, nice, some wide open daylight is coming in. And throughout the course of 3 years, I've been working a whole lot on trying to sort of like organize everything so that I have a nice, neatly organized space whenever I get here to the studio. The entire room that you're seeing here is around 32 square meters. It's most likely bigger when you're watching it in this video than what it is when you get here in real life. I have sort of like tried to make it look bigger because I'm using a wide angle lens whenever I'm shooting my talking head videos. But one of the most important things with this space is that I want it to feel me. I want it to feel creative, and whenever I get here, I want to feel so like energized of actually being here. One of the biggest reasons as to why I started to put all the things on the walls was because I wanted to have a free space on the floor. I didn't want a lot of shelves. I only wanted to have this here. But the fun thing is that most of these things that I have on the walls are actually memories from things that has happened. This was actually the first commercials that I did for an international company back in 2019. And it's sort of like a reminder of that if you stay consistent, you're going to be able to see results. And for those who don't know, I've been playing guitar for 8 years, so I know how to play. I'm a little bit rusty, but it still works. They're not real, they're soft air guns, but we use them when we're shooting rivals as props to be able to make the video happen. Same thing goes with the knives, basically. We use them in sort of like a cool fashion to make it look real. This shelf is sort of like dedicated to FPV batteries and charging and all that stuff, so that I know that everything is here. And I actually printed so like a cool prime gear thing that I can use to store these batteries in if I don't want them to lie down. That's pretty sick. Of course, we got Optimus Prime and Bumblebee standing right here, watching over me whenever I'm doing some work. We got a TV in the ceiling. So whenever I have a client here, or whenever I want to watch one of my videos on the big screen, I basically just fold it down, have a look, and then once I'm done, fold it back up again. But it's a really neat function to save a lot of space, especially in this tiny room. And then of course we got the DeWalt wall here, which is all the tools that I've used to build this actual space. It all started with me building this room, and then it moved on to the next room, which we're gonna jump into very soon. They're trustworthy. I like them. And I'm not sponsored by DeWalt. Over here we got the, I don't know, RC corner, I guess you can say. These are the RC cars that I used to put a Ronin 40 onto, and then an Insta360, and they are just so much fun. Really good stuff when you get crazy ideas. I like them, but I don't use them that much anymore. Then we have the Cine lifter that I put my FX6 on, dangerous stuff, and all my other FPV drones for different purposes. One of my favorites right now is this one from FPV Frames, the Flow X, but I highly recommend this Gepard C Mark V for anyone that wants to buy sort of like a custom FPV drone without spending too much money. It's a really good drone to fly. Over in that corner, there's also the crap room. I'm not going to show you that, but we all know that we have a crap room that's just filled with crap. Moving on to the bigger studio space, or sort of like what I call the studio. This is the space that I built back in 2021. It's been a great place to have because I have a bunch of different stuff here that I can work on, and it's super easy with the high ceilings to be able to just rig up a couple of lights, grab a couple of shots of what you need, and then just roll everything back. And I used to have a lot more NERF guns here, but now I sort of like replaced it with tripods and reduced the NERF armory a little bit. Mainly because I didn't use all the NERF guns, but they were fun to have when I made a couple of videos on them. Up here, we got a backdrop. Then I can just roll it down, use that for the green screen that I want to have. I also have black and white, depending on what it is that I want to shoot. And then we just roll it back up. Oh, flutter. And the good thing about having the backdrops here is that I have such a distance between the backdrops and where I can stand, because I can walk out in the next room. So if I want to shoot with a 400mm lens on a product, I can do that, which is pretty sick. Over here, I got my different Prime Gear clothing that is sort of like, you know, kind of cool to have. I sell a few of them, but there's a couple of stuff in the works, so stay tuned. I know, I've been saying that for a long time, but this time I really, really mean it. Just you wait. This table is basically used to roll out whenever I need to have a table here and shoot some products on. The initial thought was that I wanted to have sort of like a desk here. I kind of ditched that idea pretty quick because the echo is kind of loud out here, so I didn't want to spend a huge amount of money on insulating the sound or soundproofing. On the other side, we have the bar and sort of like the lunch room, I guess you can call it. This is where I make my coffee, where I have the AC, microwave, and of course the loaded fridge with a bunch of dricka for whenever someone comes over and wants to have a drink. Then we can just stand here, have a little bit of a chat and discuss what is going on, va? It's a really nice thing to have. And this was actually very simple to build because I kind of cheated on this. As you can see here, I took two sort of like loading pallets and then put a OSB board in the front, and then just an IKEA desktop. Bought this on Bauhaus, just glued it here, and then it looks like a neat, nice bar. One of the things that I did not calculate though is that this part should be way longer out if you want to sit here. Because right now, if you want to sit here, you gotta sit like this, just in case you don't want to hit your knees. So should have made this a little bit longer. Making mistakes. That's how we learn stuff, right? Moving on to the other side, we got the newest addition to the studio actually, which is the 3D printing area. This right here is a Bamboo Labs X1 Carbon. Can highly recommend this 3D printer. It's sort of like controlled with touch panel. You can have 4 different filaments and print in 4 different colors if you want, which is super cool. And then I also got the FlashForge Adventurer 4. It's a little bit cheaper than the Bamboo Labs. Highly recommend both of these. They are great to get started with 3D printing. Behind them, I got my power tubes hanging for easy access whenever I need to have sort of like a rim light for a video or photo. Just super neat to have. And then we have a little bit of a storage here beneath as well. It has definitely taken quite some time to reach the point where I feel like this space is where I would like it to be. I mean, like I built this in 2021 and now it's currently 2023. So I've been working on this particular room for 2 years. It's still a little bit things to do, you know, in the ceiling, cover up with a little bit of list and paint and all that good stuff. But you know what they say, there's always gonna be work with old houses. Which brings us in to the last studio space, or what I call the Prime Gear HQ, aka the lounge. This is the latest edition. This was what I was working on last year, which is the spring of 2022. I wanted this space to be very simple, very clean, not a lot of things going on. It's just an open space where you can relax. You can sit here when the family comes to visit or when someone wants to come over and just talk business. Bumblebee, Megatron, Optimus, and Jetfire standing here watching over so that nothing goes down in the lounge without them knowing. And then I got my desk here. This is a great desk. If I feel like I want to have sort of like a change of environment, then I can always go out here and sit and answer a couple of emails or, you know, just work on things that I feel requires a little bit of a different ambience, I guess. And it's also great to have a place like this for whenever I have someone coming over helping me to make a video. Prime Gear logo right there. Oof. Looking good, va? Over on this side, it's sort of like just relaxment or relaxing. Sort of like break from reality or break from the everyday life that is going on whenever you try to run your own business as a one-man band. And whenever I have someone coming over, we just sit here, talk, watch a couple of YouTube videos, or I can even show them my YouTube videos on this TV as well, when we sit here and just enjoy stuff. And, you know, whenever my dad comes in, I just want to show him the different things. Optimus from Dark of the Moon, also Blitzwing standing, looking mean. A couple of storage units here that I try to keep as clean as I possibly can. It's hard though. And if you're wondering what these lights are, I'm gonna drop a link in the description down below because these are Philips Hue gradient tubes. can highly recommend these if you want to have some nice ambience in your room. I think for me, this entire studio is sort of a testament of how far you can get if you are just willing to try things. But one of the most important things is to say thank you to you, because without you watching my videos, purchasing my course and being a part of my entire YouTube journey, none of this would have been possible. And I'm super grateful to have you here. If you're not subscribed yet, I would highly appreciate that. But if you enjoyed this video, do give me a thumbs up. And if you want to have a video that is sort of like named The Tech That Runs My YouTube Studio, drop a comment below, because I've been thinking about that video for a long time. But thanks so much for watching, and can't wait to have you in the lounge. That's gonna be sick. Huh? Take care. Peter from Sweden is saying goodbye. Have a good one.